Welcome to this week's What Women Binge. We have a special guest in the house.
Whoop, whoop.
We've got Scott Hamilton is here with us. Yeah. Oh my gosh, we are so excited.
It was just a matter of time.
I know, because you're a Nashvillian.
Like Billion.
Yeah,
Nashvillian. Nashvilleans, I could be a Nashvillian because I do tend to hold people up.
It's more fun to say, isn't it?
Nashvillian.
Nashvillian.
Yeah,
we like the building. It makes
I've never really been like associated with anything like dark or sinister.
No, you really haven't.
So I'm gonna be a Nash.
Well, because of that, I wore my sparkles.
She's got
today.
sparkle
I went
tights.
full figure skater.
There
She's
you
got
go.
sparkle
That
tights
works.
and a for those that can't see you, she has a sparkly headband that's like very reminiscent of a figure skater, I would say.
a tiara.
The only thing
I
I
know
could
exactly
find
where to put you in the show.
is I know that you're not Canadian, but I feel like Canada and ice skating kind of go hand in hand. So I wear a
Hand in
Canadian
hand.
Ottawa sweatshirt.
That's Ottawa. Oh my goodness, I have so
You
many
won
memories.
some awards in Ottawa, didn't you?
My very first ever world championship to participate in was in Ottawa. And my last worlds that I ever competed in that I won was in Ottawa.
Wow.
Isn't that wild?
I just shot a movie in Ottawa this year, so that's why I've got the Ottawa rocking the Ottawa sweatshirt.
Christy, we'd do the Canadian tour, and because Canada is so like broad, right? It would take the trucks a while to get to the next city. So we'd be in Halifax, and then we'd go to Ottawa next. So it took a while for the trucks to make it with all their gear. So we'd be in Ottawa for a couple of days, and so Christy goes, "I'm bored." I go, "What do you want to do?" And she goes, "I don't care." I go, "Let's get out of the hotel and figure out what to do." So we went for a tour of the Parliament building.
Oh, you did?
And it was one of the most, you could do a sitcom on what happened there. It was this guy, and he was very officious. And he would always ask questions. And he would say, "Okay, people, follow me. Can anyone tell me why this edifice right here is as it is? Anyone? Canadians? Anyone?" And then by the time we got to the end of it, it was always, you found out there was no Canadians on the tour.
No Canadians.
It was
Not a single one.
No, there was a bunch of Americans, and there were a couple of people from Germany, and then some people from, and he was like, "Oh, no wonder you didn't know anything. It's because you're not from Canada."
You're not from Canada. Well,
But it was like, anyone? Canadians?
I can't tell you when I was going there how many people were like, "I'm sorry, where's Ottawa?" I'm like, I even had to look it up. I'm like, where's Ottawa? Because of course we know Toronto, Vancouver, and I've worked in Calgary, and but you're like, Ottawa, it's the capital.
It's the nation's capital.
It's just north of Toronto. It's about, an hour from Montreal, maybe 2 hours from Montreal, which I love Montreal, but I'd never been to Ottawa before. It is beautiful.
I've never been to Canada in general.
No. It's so great.
It really is.
Yeah. Have you been to Quebec City?
No, I don't.
Ooh.
Wait, we shot some of our movie in Quebec, but not Quebec City.
Quebec City is, they have all these old buildings like the Parliament building in Ottawa, but it's a whole section of the city like that.
It is beautiful. It's very
gorgeous.
European looking.
And they sell this thing called poutine.
Which is French fries with gravy, right?
Yeah.
But it's way,
But they have restaurants
way
for
worse
it.
than that.
I am here for that.
No, it'll take like years off your life.
They also have ketchup flavored chips.
And they put vinegar on their chips.
Lay's, I know. That's actually.
Give
I
me
was
all
shooting
the
a movie,
vinegar-based condiments.
1986. I was shooting a Christmas movie up in Vancouver, and that's the first time I had to have. They only had salt and vinegar potato chips, and that's when I became obsessed with them. And I'm still. It's like the only potato chip I actually like.
It really, because it kind of like it pow. It has like a little bit of a
tingles the tongue
in the jaw.
If you eat too many of them, your mouth becomes raw. It's not good.
It's like sour Skittles.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're so good.
Anyway,
so
welcome.
bad.
and let's go back to food. Yeah.
We're food. We're
I'm
Canada.
a Southern woman. Food is always going to be in the picture.
Food is good. How long have you been living? How long have you been in Nashville?
Nashville in 17 years, almost
Wow.
18.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We bought our house here 18 years ago, and it took us a few months to get out of LA and here.
Wait, was that 2000? I think we've probably been here almost the same. I got here in 2006.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I can't do math right now, so yeah. That sounds good.
Yeah, it's the new math, so we don't
This
worry
is
about it.
home now. By that point, I feel like.
Yeah, you get here and it's kind of like this is definitely not broken. This will really work. And part of what I do to kind of like put food on the table is I do corporate speaking or motivational speaking. And the airport here is so easy.
Yeah,
That was
really
one of her
is.
reasons
That
for
was one
coming
of the
too.
reasons I moved, like that I chose this, especially over Birmingham, Alabama, because I love the city of Birmingham. I think it's really cute and it's smaller. But first of all, I'm glad I'm here because of the performances, stuff like we're going to talk about, like your show that's coming here, and just the stand-up comedy, the music, all that, like Party Central for anything entertainment-wise. But I was I totally forgot what I was going to say.
Well, because you fly all over when you're working.
You travel, yeah.
I loved that I was like super close to the airport. You can get in and out. Except now there's a line. I drove by it yesterday. There is a line outside the terminal.
Oh, they've changed
on the highway.
They've changed for arrivals and then for departures. They've changed the kind of the way in. It needs some work
did that
because
like a
it's
few
all
weeks
like
ago,
one
right?
lane roads and it's kind of bottlenecks. It's not done yet. I hope if it is done yet.
Yeah, then we have a problem. But it's really small. Like it's a small, manageable airport, and I love that. In LA, being in LA and having to get to LAX and fly out.
That's one of my least favorite experiences because if you're flying out like United on Terminal 6.
Yeah. You got to go all the way around the loop. So LAX is built like a loop, right?
Yeah.
And so there's 6 terminals. And if you're trying to go to the last terminal, I've missed flights before just sitting in that loop.
Yeah.
Like missed flights. Where
There's
I've gotten
ways
out
of
and like
cutting
run.
across, but even that.
Usually you miss you miss the turn off or someone will block you or honk at you.
But it's not good.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
It is a stress ball. Like you need to add an extra. New York and LA and Atlanta, I think you have to add an extra hour if you're going to the airport. Here it's like pull up, drop your car. You can even valet right there.
Yeah.
Boom, walk right inside.
And you know, it's really well. I always valet. I would always valet because I'm,
yeah.
I run late a little bit sometimes.
I'm
But
right there
then
with
I
you.
figured out, I go, I'm here a little early. I'm going to try the parking thing. The parking thing is great.
Yeah.
It's a cheat code because what they do is, and you know how you can drive around for hours looking for a parking space? Not there. What they do is they tell you how many spaces are available on each level.
Oh, yeah.
And then they have all the red lights above the parking
On the
spaces.
ceiling.
You just
On
look for the
ceiling,
green.
and you look for the green light, and it's like bam.
And you know there's an
elevator, bam, into the terminal, bam, and you're
then
like,
now they've opened up all those big TSA security areas, and if you have clear, do you do clear, Scott?
yes.
All right, good.
So you gotta do that. It was really funny when they first opened that center security area. It was like, what happened? This is my airport. What?
I know.
Yeah.
And so they open, and I get through, and it's like this is taking a really long time because they had those new.
They have the new scanners, the fancy pants.
Yeah, the fancy pants scanners.
Modern
so
looking.
I'm going through, and I walk through, and it's just like a typical Nashville thing. You always run into somebody at the airport, right?
Yeah.
Always.
So I put my bag through, and I'm waiting, and finally goes through because it took a while for them to kind of build that muscle of being able to use the equipment. And I pull in, and there's Mike Huckabee.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I go, hi, Governor. And he goes, wow, this is taking a very long time. Like, oh, it is. He goes, only a government could come up with a system like this. And I just thought that was a really funny thing to say.
That is funny.
Yeah. But it's like Nashville. I mean, you can't go 20 yards without running into something.
It's really true. It's so funny because I feel like all my friends, when people come visit, I'm like, oh, we can hang out with this friend or this friend or this friend. I've never hung out with so many celebrities before. Like just people that moved here that were like, hey, I heard you live in Nashville. Hey, I heard you live in Nashville. Hey, I hear, oh, you're moving now. Oh, you're coming now. Oh, okay. You want to move to Nashville? You want to come visit Nashville? And it's like all of a sudden all these celebrities are here. And I'm like, I feel like it's like Hollywood East. It's
Except no paparazzi because
no
we
paparazzi.
don't do that
Not
here.
yet. Don't come here.
No, and
They tried. They had to shut down. TMZ had an office here for like a minute.
What?
And nobody would like tip them off, and everybody kind of would block their
Nice people.
path.
Yeah, I wrote my second book with the guy that became the news director at E, and he goes, "Where can we put photographers?" I go,
Nowhere.
"On a plane back to Los Angeles."
Yeah.
We don't do that here. And he goes, "What?" I go, "No, people live normal lives here."
I've had people saying, we see on your Instagram you're hanging out with a lot of famous people. Would you want to do like a Nashville Housewives reality show? And I said, if it was falsely scripted to be funny and stupid and nobody believes that we're really those people, I said, nobody here is going to want to do a salacious,
No.
let's tear each other apart
Or
and
have
look
you in my
fancy.
home or
No.
in my family.
No, we want to hang out in our pajamas and like watch something.
We eat
watch a
carbs in
movie
real
or
life.
go out to a comedy show in my jeans and my Ottawa sweatshirt. You know,
Yeah.
like this is what I want to do.
Come as you is,
Yeah.
it's really remarkable, and it's the one thing when we moved here, we had our first child, and I'm looking around going, I wish I had the skill set to raise him here, and I don't. So where are we going to go? And we were had some friends that split time between Nashville and LA, and they just said, come to Nashville and hang out with us. So Tracy goes, I just moved here from Nashville, and I don't know if I want to go back. And they go, well, you're a mom now. And she goes, oh, yeah, that's different. So we came back, and she realized that it was kind of like, this will work.
Yeah.
And so we came, and it was just remarkable how kind and open people are. it's like, and it's really, it's not a nice way to kind of like, the only way I can say it is if you run into somebody in LA, it's Velcro, right? And it's like, it's like, but here,
there's a lot of competition. I feel like people in LA are all there for the same reason, right? Everybody wants to kind of hit it big in the entertainment industry, and that's what that city is about in LA.
That's networking and it's dealing and it's being with,
and here it's jealousies and coveting and all the things we're not supposed. But like, it's a society built on that because we're all fighting for the same, like we think there's a limited amount of it and we're fighting for it. And you get outside of there and you realize, maybe I don't have to fight so hard. Maybe there's room for everyone. Maybe, and that kind of thing. And kind of taking things like, you can get caught up in it there. And you can also not get caught. Like I had a great time living in LA for 15 years. I had a wonderful time. I have some amazing friends there that are natives to California and LA. And they do great in their business and they have great friends and they're nice people. But I feel like if you're trying to get into the industry, everyone is. Your waiter is. Your valet part, everyone is. And so everyone's either disgruntled, like there's a lot of like attitude or disgruntled and, people that are just, you're kind of running into every day and that are fighting for the same jobs you are.
And then you get here and you meet somebody in the grocery store and they go, "Are you her?" And you yes. And they go,
"Can I get my picture made with you?"
Or it could be, but that's really usually not. Usually not. But they usually go, "Oh, welcome to Middle Tennessee. Have a nice day."
Yeah.
And that's it.
It's so nice to meet you.
Why are you in Nashville? Yeah.
I didn't know you lived.
Most of the time when people don't talk to me, I move quickly.
Well, you're physically intimidating.
First of all, I know I very much am at my 5'1". I'm like
your little nuggets.
You and me both. We're just so physically intimidating.
You take up a lot of space in this world.
Wait, let's get into your physically intimidating. You are.
You actually are.
Like the things you've done with your body. Okay, oh my gosh, I have so many questions, but I don't even know where to start. But the first thing that comes to mind is like, what is it? You were the first person to do a back. Explain this to me.
Okay, I'll explain to you that I got more credit for that backflip than anyone in the history of sports of anything, because the first guy to do it was a guy named Skippy Baxter. He was in the ice shows in the 40s.
That's a great name, by the way, to do a
backflip.
Oh, he's awesome. But he did his last one when he was 70 years old.
What?
Yeah. So he just figured if I go backwards fast enough and I stick my toe in the ice, I could probably get over in a backflip. And he was crazy enough to do it. So he did them in all the ice shows he did back in the glory days of all the ice shows. And then other people would learn it, and then I turned pro after 84 Olympic season. And I joined the Ice Capades, and there was a couple guys doing them, and I would listen, and I'd hear the reaction from the audience, and it's like, oh, I got to get me one of those. So I went, and a friend of mine was a gymnastics coach, and I took my first lesson from Skippy, and I thought, okay, there's no technique involved in here. It's just tuck and pray. So
he doesn't know how to teach it.
Well, no, I mean, it's just that's how he did it. So I go, I'm not as gifted as he is in that. So I started working with a gymnastics coach, and it took me like full year, to be able to do it on my own. And then I was in Salt Lake City where I did my last nationals, and I decided to put it at the beginning of a program I was doing that year, and I opened up with it, and the adrenaline was just like, I'm doing this under lights, and this is crazy, and I've never done one in front of people before, and I went really fast into it, and it just hit, and it floated. And I must have been in the air for like 16 minutes. It was just like, and then the second
Did you know you were going to land it though? Like, when
it floated. It was like one of the best ones I've ever done in my life. And the second my feet had touched the ice, the place went ballistic. And I thought, oh, wow, I am never leaving home without this bad boy ever. And so I started putting it in all my programs. And because I had there was a lot of attention put on me back then. It was kind of like a really great time for figure skating that I started doing this backflip, and people just felt like I invented it. And I didn't, but, You're
the first one to give it attention.
I got a lot of attention for it.
That's awesome.
And I did it for 19 years, know. And then I came back when I was 51. I wanted to see if I could skate again, so I came back and I did it then too.
Well, I always think it's so amazing. I mean, that that you could do something that really hadn't been done. Had been done, but not on a level like that.
Like
before.
Mainstream, yeah.
Yeah, and I think there was a skier that I was friends with. He passed away a few years ago, but he was out of Truckee, California. His name was C.R. Johnson. I think he was credited with doing the first 1440 on skis at X Games. But it's always so crazy. It's like what is it? 4
Do the
times
math.
around?
360 is 1.
Yeah. So 4 times around. Wait,
4
Am I
times.
doing that right?
Okay.
Is that the right math? I don't. 1440. I don't know. Is that right? But like a helicopter. Like I think his
Right.
skis were
You-
up and
okay,
he was
so he's
upside
going
down and he spun. I think that's what he did. So he did a ski jumper.
Yeah, those guys are crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah, and he passed away after a few accidents. But he was young. He was like probably 28 when he passed. Yeah, he had his first big injury maybe in his early 20s and then had another one and didn't make it. Yeah, and he was fantastic.
All that stuff it's sort of death-defying when you think of all that stuff.
Yeah, it's insane.
With ice is as hard as that table. It's hard as a granite floor.
That's what I was going to say. Does that not, when you're upside down in the air, does that not feel like you're doing something pretty death-defying?
Well,
I'm pretty sure that's...
if you don't bail, like as long as you stay with the program, you're going to be okay. But the second you bail, like Tyler Cranston was this Canadian skater, and he called it the electrified calf. Like those cattle prods, they go.
And you just freeze.
And you freeze. And he said, if you have the electrified calf, you're going to die or at least harm yourself.
Really regret.
So yeah, I landed on my head a couple times. But just it wasn't bad. It was like glancing.
That's kind of part of the territory, though, right? Life on skates, you land pretty hard sometimes.
You're going to get hurt.
But do you ever wear, like nowadays they encourage everyone to wear helmets, but I mean not in figure skating, they don't, do they?
Well, no, figure skating is an aesthetic sport and a helmet would kind of break the spell a little bit.
In rehearsal, in practice?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I would think I think I want that until I don't. But I'm a helmet, I mean I grew up in the helmet culture, so I'm a snowboarder who's like, from the first day I wore a helmet, I knew I needed it because I smacked my head pretty hard that day, and I was like, "Oh, thank God I have this thing on."
Yeah, really.
So I'm very much like,
I had
kids
a
wear
bunch of early concussions when I was little, but pain is a really wonderful teacher.
Yeah,
it says, don't do that again. What
that hurt.
That hurt. Don't do that like that. And one of the jumps that kind of elevated me was triple Lutz. It was done for the first time in the '60s, and nobody had really mastered it. And I landed on my hip so many times that I was swollen from just above my knee all the way above my waist. Oh. And there was a floating cyst in there that would kind of show up places. It was kind of gross. So when I got the sac of swelling drained and they took the cyst out, it hurt so bad to fall that I had to figure out a way to land it. Oh. And so when I did, it was like, I'm the only one doing this right now, like consistently. I'm going to put it in my short program. I'm going to put it in my long program. I'm going to put it in all my programs.
And I'm going to land it every time because I never want to feel that again.
No, and it took me from like there to here, like in 1 year.
Well, that's what I was kind of going with like my friend who did the 1440 and stuff. Then there's people that do it after, like, do they, when people, so the backflip, for example. So a lot of people do backflips now.
Yeah.
And is there like a progression of people like, I mean, I don't know. Like, it seems like athletes get stronger and faster and bigger every year, right? Like, how do you take something like that, like you're talking about, like you elevate it? Is it just like motivation of seeing someone else do it and I'm going to do it better, I'm going to do it faster,
It's a competitive sport. So if it's here and I need to get to here to win, and then you need to get to here to win, then you need to get to here to win. And so, for me, it was, I came out really strong, 81. And then I defended in 82, but I could see that my event was kind of flipping a little bit. Like younger guys were coming up and the older guys were kind of falling away. And then I saw the third year I won Worlds, Brian Boitano. Brian Boitano was fifth and Brian Orser was on the podium. And I thought, I better get my gold medal and get out of here because timing is everything. And what happened was, because of where I was and how I'd built my skating, I was able to hold them off that last year. And then the next 4 years were theirs. It was pretty remarkable. But yeah, it's competitive. So a lot of it is the way they teach jumping now is completely opposite of the way they did when I was skating.
Really?
Because I was up and in, and now they're up and in at the same time.
Oh.
So it's a whole different technique. And so like the Nathan Chens of the world can do quads off any takeoff without any problem at all. And it's really cool to see how efficient they are with just rotation. How the second they leave the ice, they're just, Well, it's science and it's also dem bones. It's like, it's all about putting everything in the right place. Because if you're skating down on one foot and all you do is that, it turns your hip and now you're going on an inside edge on this foot. And if you go like that, now you're on an outside edge on that foot. It's just the way your body works. So the slightest little thing can change everything.
Yeah, I went roller skating last night. I thought I was going to die. You just reminded me of this. I
can't
totally
roller
forgot.
skate.
I actually roller skated last night at a kid's birthday party. Amanda, it's holiday season.
It is.
You know what that means? It means shopping.
I love shopping.
And I feel like I'm almost done with my holiday shopping because of the Skims holiday gift shop.
It has made things so easy.
So much easier,
I
right?
may or may not have bought myself some stocking stuffers for the brain to put in my stocking.
There you go. You have to do it.
I mean,
Sometimes you have to buy your own gifts. And then you know what? If you buy it early enough, you forget that you even got it. And then it's a surprise on the day.
it's so great. And
But
the
you know-
Skims holiday collection is mwah, chef's kiss.
Yes, these collections have been designed for the whole family. Skims is creating the next generation underwear, loungewear, and shapewear.
Literally for every body, including men now too.
My favorite part of the holiday season is bundling up with the whole family for holiday card picks and cozy nights around the fire. So I got us all the matching loungewear from Skims. Even the dog can get in on it.
That's so cute.
Isn't that fun?
I personally got the pajama set for myself in smoke. It's the sparkle print. It's so comfortable. It was really hard to put it back in the box and wrap it up.
That's awesome. Your favorite Skims staples like Fits Everybody, Cotton, Soft Lounge, and Sleep are now available in cheerful colors and festive prints, you guys. And it's available in all sizes from XXS all the way up to 4X.
And there's unisex styles, and they even start a newborn sizing in the children's side.
And your
sizes.
dogs.
Isn't that
Your dogs,
crazy?
The whole family.
It's the best. So Skims makes holiday shopping so easy with styles for everyone in the family. And the Skims Holiday Gift Shop is the destination for all your gifting needs.
Yeah, believe the hype. Skims has over 100,000 5-star reviews for a reason, people.
And the holiday shop is open right now at skims.com.
Plus, you get free shipping on orders over $75.
After you place your order, be sure to let them know that we sent you. Select podcast in the survey and be sure to select What Women Binge in the drop-down menu that follows.
Yeah, so don't forget, skims.com. Go there for all your holiday shopping. And while you're in there, select podcast and let them know that we sent you WWB, What Women Binge. My son made
Was
my
it the one in
11-year-old made
Brentwood?
me.
Did you go
No,
that
so
one?
I went to Clarksville.
Oh, that's about
Yeah,
an
that
hour
was a
away.
commitment.
That's a long drive.
So when I couldn't leave him there because I wasn't going home, so I stuck around and was like, my husband, who is actually probably about to have knee surgery, was like, my son was like, come out and skate with me, and we're like,
How do you say no?
all right, 5 times around. But I was like, ooh, I think I do better on ice than I do on. I just been on ice more than I've been on wheels. But
Yeah, and the skating here is great in Nashville. They're building rinks. You know, they built the one brand new one in Clarksville.
Okay.
They have an arena and an ice skating rink attached to it, and they have the 2 rinks in Bellevue, the 2 rinks in Centennial Park, and the 2 rinks in
I didn't realize that.
Antioch.
Oh, I want to get my kids back into. They all did hockey when they were
Oh,
little.
it's
Well, with the
Wow.
Preds here now, like
I
hockey
know.
culture has come alive in Nashville.
It really
so
has.
they've got the 2 different, they're both Ford Ice Centers, right?
Antioch and Bellevue. Yeah. And I have a little skating academy there, which is
You do?
That's awesome.
Oh, I should get my little one into some. I see. So the other thing is my kids all snowboard, and like my 15-year-old is obsessed with the trampoline and like doing all the, like you were talking about, gymnastics. He loves parkour and doing flips. Like he's always trying to flip his body and twist his body and do all these things. And I'm like, dude, you need to get on a half pipe.
Yeah.
Like you need to get out there on a half pipe. Now that you know how to do this with your body, now you can do it on, and you know how to snowboard. You need to put them together. I keep wanting to send him to like Burton Academy or something, just learn some tricks. Because I'm like, dude, get out there and do
Well,
it.
there's a gymnastics place right here if he wants to trampoline and do all that stuff. And they have foam pits, and they have it's called Let It Shine Gymnastics. And Tim Richards owns that, and he's a really good guy.
They have parkour. We're looking for parkour in the city.
I know they do a lot of
Some of them
cheerleading
used to
over
do
there.
Ninja Warrior classes.
Yeah.
I can't find parkour places around here, and they love parkour. They do summertime parkour camps out in Tahoe, and
I think that does exist. I think we just have to hunt it down.
we have to hunt it down. I'm not good at hunting
pretty-
things down.
I got
I'm
you.
the worst at research.
I would think. I mean,
think it's
American
there.
Ninja Warrior is so popular right now.
Yeah.
In fact,
That's how I got my rug
tie
burn.
in.
Though I tried to do that a few weeks ago. I tried to do.
Surely it's healed by now.
Is it gone? Is my
Yeah.
rug burn gone?
Yeah.
I had this huge gash because my niece who was
Sorry, it's
turning
not funny.
4 was doing
Oh,
a gymnastics
it's
party, and there was
funny
an
because-
American Ninja Warrior wall thingy, and I went sliding down on my elbows. And like
This 40-something-year-old woman, given any dare,
47, not just 40 something.
any type of
up there.
competition, if you challenged her to anything, she'd be like, "Oh, I'm going
Let's
to
do
beat
it.
you.
Let's do it.
Like it's instant.
Yeah, here's my
What's
17-year-old
the
nephew.
worst thing that
like-
could happen?
My 17-year-old nephew was like, "Come on, Aunt Melissa, let's do it."
Yeah.
Like, all right, you got it. Run up, try to grab onto something on the wall, and
she
then
just-
slide down on my elbows.
What's really wild is last year and this year at my my event at Bridgestone, Matt Eisman, who's the host of American Ninja Warrior. He's co-hosting.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, he came last year.
And he's doing it again this year?
And he's doing it again this year.
Well, let's tell everybody
Talk about the
so
event.
if you are here in Nashville, and we've been talking about a lot of Nashville
See how I did that?
I like that
segue.
transition.
I love it.
Yes.
It's like you're a pro. So Scott Hamilton and Friends is going to be performing for the Scott Hamilton Cares Foundation at the Bridgestone Arena on November 19th.
November 19th, Sunday at 5 o'clock. It's absolutely beyond sensory overload. It's such a great event. It's
country-based this year,
well,
right?
you can't, it's hard to describe. It's live music from iconic artists with Olympic level figure skating in front of it.
Oh, we have to go.
I love that.
Oh, no,
I love it so much. I'm so there.
It's so spectacular. And it's one of those things where a lot of ice shows have gotten a bad rap. You take your kids to the ice shows and the parents endure it. This one it's an equal experience.
Well, that's because they've been doing like the Disney ones,
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
that's
the
all I've
Frozen
ever been
ice
to.
show and stuff. Yeah,
I love to watch like Olympic skating like, on
true.
television, but I've never actually been to a.
Well, Nathan Chen's coming this year. Yeah, I know. He's reigning Olympic champion. That was a big deal.
Yeah.
Because he's going to Yale full time.
Okay.
And it's like, oh, that's midterms. How am I going to get him out here? And he goes, I want to do your show. And it's like, okay.
Yes, please.
that's Thanksgiving break?
Okay.
It's like the beginning of Thanksgiving break, right? Is that why?
Yeah,
he
I'm
can do it?
hoping. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
So he's coming, and we've got, oh my goodness, we have so many incredible skaters coming, world champions, Olympic champions. Katya Gordieva is coming with her husband, David Peltier.
Oh,
He won in 2002. She won with her husband, Sergey, in 88, 94.
he's the one that passed away.
And then he passed away in 95.
I read that book in college. I read her book in college. It was
Oh, My
part of
Sergey?
my Sergey. It was one of my favorite books. So heartbreaking.
She comes every year.
Yeah?
Yeah. And last year she skated, and I said, it's pretty impressive for a 51-year-old. And I got up there and she goes, why did you tell people how old I am? I go, Katya, they can do the math.
Is she only 51?
52 now, yeah.
So she's only like 5 years older than me.
She's skating with David, so they're going to do a pair number together. So that's 3 Olympic gold medals in one performance.
Wow.
Okay, I have to. First of all, I have to meet her. I've never asked to meet anyone. I
I know she's like.
did a paper on her in college.
Look at her eyes. She's like, oh gosh, starstruck.
No, she's
all of
amazing.
a sudden.
Well, I always wanted to be a ballerina, and so I feed into that, especially that Russian world of like going to see the Bolshoi and stuff like that. But like that Russian skater world, and her book just meant so much to me because
it was
so heartbreaking how
it was
he
terrible.
died
I was
on the
talking
ice.
to him
I know. Yeah.
5 minutes before he died.
No, really?
We were skating around, talking and laughing. It was Dasha Day, so their daughter Daria was coming that day. And the grandmother was coming up from Connecticut to bring Dasha. And she was like our mascot. We just love her. And she's, to this day, I just adore Daria. And so we were talking about Dasha Day. And Sergey didn't speak a lot of English, and I didn't speak a lot of Russian. So we just had a blast talking to each other and just trying to make it happen.
Charades.
And then he said, I got to go next door. They were doing choreography in the practice rink right next to the main field house rink in Lake Placid. And next thing I heard is called 911. Sergey collapsed. And I ran out, and I saw him lay on the ice. And I just went into an empty locker room. I just prayed. I said, Lord, don't do this. Don't do this. And then I remember the EMT guys arrived, and they're walking in. I go, please run. And they picked up the speed, and they went in there, and they couldn't resuscitate him. And
was it a heart attack?
Yeah.
On the ice during rehearsals?
and he wasn't doing much. He just won their second Olympic gold medal like a year before.
And he was young. How
Very
old was
young.
he? 23 or something?
No, he was 28.
28. Okay.
Yeah. So it was devastating. We all rallied around her, and then she decided to come back and skate solo, and so she was in all those shows all those years, and I just adore her.
Yeah.
I just
that's
love
great.
her, and so she comes every year.
That's
and
awesome
So this year
to
she
hear.
goes, "Do you want me to skate with David?" And I go, "Sure, if you want to." I will ask him. Okay. Yeah, such a
So
cute.
who are the musicians?
We got Trace Atkins, Jody Messina. Oh, she's really awesome. Dina Carter.
Oh, I love her too.
Steve
okay, this
Warner.
is gonna be so fun.
And then we got the frontmen. And it's Tim Rushlow, Richie McDonald, and Larry Stewart.
Oh, wow.
And they were all the lead singers for like Little Texas, Lone Star, and Restless Heart. So it's really wild. And Steve Warner, when I first came to town, I got on the phone with him because he was going through something and needed some. And it was just like this community is so tiny and small. And then Trace, just all the craziness with him. And anyway, so it's just, we're opposites. I mean, he's this big, tall, hairy guy, and I'm this little short, like hairless
You can't
guy.
miss him in a room.
No, and his voice
He's
is
a
so
giant.
deep.
Really?
Yeah, he's like really big, and he always wears those hats that make him even taller.
And he's he's a little burly.
Yeah,
That's the best way to I mean, he's just
Paul Bunyan type.
kinda.
He's just big and intimidating.
But blonde. Like you
Oh, like
I
a
don't know.
Nordic, like a
The last time I saw him in
like a
like
Sven.
public, he was in like his big hat and he had this giant black leather trench coat on and like plaid, and he had the big goatee beard thing. And I was like,
Like he's physically intimidating.
Yeah.
oh yeah. And I was in a Rainforest Cafe.
All right,
So
I'm just
that
imagining the guy
was
from
a
Frozen
dynamic.
that's like, oh, big summer blowout.
No,
What's that?
no, not like that at all. I mean, intimidating. Like you're like, is that a villain? Like, is something about to happen?
He's a giant.
He's a
teddy bear.
cowboy.
Yeah, but he's big and tall, and he's got that voice that shakes rooms.
Very deep.
And they call me ma'am when I order room service, so it's kind of we're opposites, you know. We're totally opposites, so it's kind of fun to have him.
Oh my gosh.
And then these songs, it's like I was always a Rust Belt rock guy. You know, I grew up in northwestern Ohio, just south of Detroit, and all that music, you know, the Bob Segers and you know, Kiss and oh my goodness, just everything that came out of that area, John Mellencamp.
Speaking of Kiss, did you go?
Alice Cooper.
They were just here.
Oh, they were just here?
It was amazing.
Amanda
Yeah.
went.
I was there.
It never changes.
No, it's absolutely the same show I saw 15 years ago. But it was so fun.
It is. It's so fun.
It might be the last time, right?
It's
Wasn't it
supposed
the
to be.
last-
No, they've been doing this is their 25th farewell tour.
Oh, okay. Like
Something
Elton
like
John.
that.
As long as they're making money, I think they're going to tour. Yeah. I'm just saying.
I'm not disagreeing with you on
yeah.
that.
And
But it
it's
was
fun to
fun.
be in the same room. You know, it's like, you know, they're in their 70s now. And you look at the Rolling Stones, they're creeping up on 80. And on my way here, I heard their newest single.
Isn't that
Oh,
wild?
really?
They just had a new
Yeah,
album come out.
it's actually pretty good.
I feel like everybody has an album out right now. Didn't like
I don't.
you don't?
But
don't
I have a
either,
show coming
actually.
up. That
Yeah,
we
You do have a show
and
coming
there's
out.
still tickets available. So if
Wait,
you're
are you still doing Stars on Ice? Stars on Ice and Ice.
Stars and Ice still goes out. Yeah.
You still go out with that? Do you
I don't
do
go
it?
out with it at all. No.
Oh, okay.
No, that ship is sailed.
But are you going to be skating at this?
I
at
host
your
it
event?
from the ice.
Okay.
So I'm the host with the most. And it's really fun to be able to kind of marry that live music and live skating thing. And we turn Bridgestone Arena. Have you been to a hockey game yet? Or been
Yeah,
to any?
yeah.
So we turn it into a theater.
Okay.
We take away the glass and then we bring seats all the way onto the ice.
Oh.
And then it's just really an intimate
Wow.
environment. It's
That's
really
fun.
cool.
Speaking of ice, have you done the ice at the Gaylord Opry?
Yeah, it's really
the
cool.
Opryland,
We used to
that's-
do that every year. Even when the kids were little,
Yeah.
we would all go together. We'd get a bus, and Pete Fisher would set it all up for us. He was at the time he looked after he was kind of in charge of the Grand Ole Opry, and we'd get a whole bus of people together, and it'd be really fun. We'd do ice, and then we'd make gingerbread stuff at the end. And
Yeah.
hot
I'm so
chocolate.
excited. It opens Thursday, and I'm going.
Are you going?
taking
Oh,
the
it's
kids.
and the theme this year is Polar Express.
Polar Express. That's right. Last year was Rudolph, which was brilliant. I can't like the
That's
way
so
they bring in
fun.
this ice, and they bring in like I guess from China they bring in all these like ice
Yeah,
carving
sculptors. Yeah.
sculptors. It was in. I couldn't believe how much ice they had.
And
how
they
they
freeze it year
colored
round.
it.
Oh, that stuff's frozen year round, so they can take it to other places.
Oh, really? Well, I do know that they built that venue at the Gaylord. It's the Opryland Hotel, right? That they built
Yeah.
the actual rooms to be freezing cold for that event. Like sometimes they'll have other events in there, but really it's just for the ice event. It was so. Last year's the first year I heard about that. It was so cool. I'm so
is
excited
neat.
about it. And you get to do some sledding and ice skating and throw snowballs at things and have hot cocoa. So I'm excited for all the reasons.
All right. So you guys have like 1 week right now to go and get your
Yeah.
tickets
Get
for the
your
event.
tickets. And
It's-
he's
Come see
on.
Scott.
This is Brentwood Lifestyle.
It's Sunday, November 19th, 5 p.m., Bridgestone Arena.
Where do they get the tickets?
There's not a bad seat in the house, and there's lots of them available. And we're raising money to change the way people are treated for cancer forever.
Yeah, let's talk about. And you're on the cover of Brentwood Lifestyle.
I know. I'm
cool.
not really.
This is you.
Yeah. Okay.
I like the fall colors.
Yeah, that's really wild. I never.
I literally looked at this and I went, I'm gonna meet him on.
That's really weird. Like I'm not a cover person.
Well, I only found it because of my husband's gym.
I know,
BFT
it's
that
in
you
the
have to
next
come
page
to
after that one.
After your
That is
article,
back to back.
which your
It's like
article's
totally
great.
Nashville. It's like
there's a
that.
picture of me and my husband.
It's
Big.
Nashville is just like it's like this big.
I know.
It really
so
is.
tiny.
It's
Yeah.
a big
Biggest
city.
small
It's-
town in
It
the
really
world.
is for sure. Hey, exciting announcement by BiOptimizers. Black Friday mega sale is happening now and it'll last throughout the entire month of November.
And listen carefully to me right now, okay? Because this mega deal is available for only our listeners with only our code.
Yeah, now we all have those ever-growing Black Friday wish lists, but this year, I challenge you to make your health a top priority. Instead of those impulse purchases and whatnot, let's focus on what really matters.
Yes, and that is sleep. We all know the importance of sleep when it comes to our overall well-being. And while some might say you can't buy a good night's sleep, I am here to tell you that yes, you can.
Yes, I hear that like when you sleep, it actually cleans your brain. It can like it just restarts you. So getting good sleep is so important. I'm talking about magnesium breakthrough from BiOptimizers, a true game changer in the quest for a better night's sleep.
So BiOptimizers sent us this, and I've been using them, and I have been raving about this magnesium to everyone I know. It's the only product that I trust because it combines all 7 critical forms of magnesium into one bottle.
So keep in mind, when you supply your body with these essential magnesium forms, you're in for an incredible upgrade. Magnesium helps support things like a balanced inflammatory response, promotes restorative sleep, relaxation, calmness, better stress response, all the things.
And BiOptimizer's Black Friday mega sale is happening right now, and it lasts through the entire month of November. The biggest discount you can get and the amazing gifts that come with the purchase are available only on our page. It's bioptimizers.com/MJH with the code MJH10.
That's MJH like Melissa Joan Hart, in case you're wondering. But this is your golden opportunity to stock up and reap all the amazing benefits it has to offer. Trust me, it's the best value you will find this Black Friday. You won't find a better deal even on Amazon.
So choose health over unnecessary things this Black Friday and head over to bioptimizers.com/MJH and enter the code MJH10 at checkout.
Your well-rested and calmer self will thank you. Remember, it's bioptimizers.com/MJH with the code MJH10.
You're welcome.
These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition. Thank you, BiOptimizers, for sponsoring What Women Binge. So wait, can you talk to us about your cancer journey?
Yeah, sure. So my mom, when I was 18, she died of cancer, and it was devastating because up to that time I was pretty much a dedicated underperformer in the world of skating. I was kind of last place guy. And so the morning we lost her, I went for a walk, and I had to figure out how to do it without her, and it was really awful. And in that walk, I decided, well, I don't have to do it without her. I can take her with me wherever I go. And so I just take her with me to the ice. And it was like, I'm learning late. Don't honor your mom. Be on time. It's summer. I don't feel like doing a long program run through. Honor your mom. So I do a long program run through. So that next season, she saw me, last competition, she saw me skate in. I was a disaster. I fell like twice in my long program and came in 9th. And after dedicating myself to her, the next year I was 3rd in the United States and 11th in Ottawa at the World Championships. And then 2 years later, I'm on the Olympic team in Lake Placid. And then I went 4 years undefeated.
Does it break your heart a little bit that she didn't get to see it pay off?
Every day. And the thing was I was 2 months shy of the 20th anniversary of losing my mom when I was given my cancer diagnosis.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, well, how am I going to do this? And she came back to me and she said things like, oh, this chemotherapy, I finally found a way to lose all this weight. Oh, this chemotherapy, I've wanted to quit smoking all these years. Now I have no desire. Oh, this chemotherapy, it's so wonderful. My hair was always so unattractive and difficult. These wigs are so beautiful and they're so much easier. So I was like, okay, I want to do that.
Yeah.
And the thing with her was they had no treatment for her. They just threw everything they could at it. Mm-hmm. And when I was diagnosed, 2 guys in Indiana figured it out. So if you want to know what research science does, my mom suffered for 2 years and died. And I was 6 months later trying to get back in shape to go back out on tour.
Oh, wow.
It's amazing.
So it's all research, right? And the science is here, and the science is here. I mean, the money's here, and the science is here.
Yeah.
Sorry. And if we can close the gap, we can save more lives.
And you've been a big part of that all along. I mean,
yeah, when my mom died, I was a fundraiser. And then when I survived, I became more of an activist because I realized that, how many times have you heard somebody say, somebody's got to do something about this?
uh-huh.
Right? And I never thought it would be like, okay, I better do something about this.
Yeah.
So, we have a really great foundation where It's CARES stands for the Cancer Alliance for Research, Education, Survivorship. And so we're not a silo. We'll never be a silo. We are very interactive. We're very inclusive. We love to work with other foundations to kind of lighten our load and really share with other people. Right now this year we have 14 different partnerships and research going on.
Oh, wow.
One's in clinical trial, and all we invest in is immunotherapy and targeted therapies and the awareness of proton therapy.
So when you say like 14 different, that means different
Research projects.
in different like facilities around the country, around the world.
Yeah.
Oh, very
Yeah.
cool.
That is so cool.
So, and that I have to say, like, your name is synonymous with ice skating, but also with cancer research. I feel like you're one of these people that everyone knows survived it. It's part of your story you haven't been shy about sharing. And I think that's amazing that you not only are there to, advocate for people and try to help fund the research, but also like you're out there telling people your story, which then I think makes other people feel like, when it happens to them, they can kind of look to you as a guide of,
How do I get through this?
Yeah, what your story is.
And that was a big part of when CARES first started. It was like, it's research, education, survivorship. And so most people don't know what chemotherapy is,
Right.
right?
No, I mean, I don't. I'm not.
So when they told me I was going to have chemo, I thought they're going to put me in a room and hook me up to a machine and replace all my bodily fluids. you know? And it's not. It's a IV drip. It's a chemical bag of therapy. It's just chemicals.
It goes into your bloodstream?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, they find a line. It could be a port. It can be a lot of different things. And they just fill your body with drugs that they can't touch with their fingers because it'll melt the skin.
Oh.
Yeah. How's that?
Terrifying.
Right. So I decided that in the foundation work for CARES, I don't want to, even though I'm here because of chemotherapy, we're better than that now.
There's got to be another way.
There's a better way, and it's immunotherapy. And so we put our stake in the ground. We're only going to fund immunotherapy and targeted therapies where it treats the cancer and spares the patient harm.
What does that what does that look like different than the chemicals? Like
T cells, like your immune cells, your T cells.
Okay.
They've now proven that they can take your T cells, reprogram them, right, to look for a certain protein in a cancer cell, put them back in your body, and now your immune system is looking for and is now uniquely armed to recognize and destroy the cancer. Because when you look at viruses, you look at other things that your immune system looks after all the time, it says, you don't belong here.
Right.
Okay, we're going to kill you and get rid of you. Cancer goes, hey, I need some help over here. And your immune system goes, what do you need? It's like, no, you don't belong here. Get out.
Oh,
and so,
interesting.
like CAR T therapy for lymphoma, it teaches your T cells how to look for those lymphoma cells and kill them and discard them.
Wow.
And so it's like any other disease now.
So how do they do that? Is it like they draw your blood, they clean the blood up, and they send it back in, or like how is that
Basically.
More or less.
Yeah. That's wild.
Isn't that great? So we always
Amazing.
thought, there was no drug on the market when we decided to put that stake in the ground. And then 3 years later, CAR T came out. So we go, we're right. And we're going to keep going this way.
That's
we're right.
So cool.
And
That's so
we met a
interesting.
research scientist in Washington, D.C. one time. And he goes, you only fund immunotherapy. That's it. And he goes, how long have you been doing this? And I told him, he goes, how'd you know? I go, I'm very smart. No, I just knew from all the travels and all the
Well, and
different
your
places
personal
I went.
experiences. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you know that the promise is of a better future, but you can't have a better future unless you invest in it.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing, and it's amazing because.
That is amazing. I mean, the whole story. I'm like learning
important.
so much right now.
I know.
But there's also there's a lot of cancers that have no treatment at all.
Yeah.
Right.
And one of those came sort of knocking on our door. This wonderful gentleman, Scott Williams, he called us up and he said, "Hey, I just finished reading one of Scott's books, and I'm a glioblastoma patient, and I just had my resection, and I want to raise money for your foundation." We said, "Oh, that'd be wonderful. How can we help you?" And he goes, "Well, I want to ride the entire length of the Natchez Trace Parkway, from Natchez, Mississippi, to Nashville, Tennessee."
Yeah.
And they go, "How far is that?" It's 444 miles. And it's like, "And you have brain cancer?" "Yes." "Let me do some research." So Carrie Morgan called our friend Johnny Burrell, who does all the cycling fundraising for us. And she goes, "This guy this guy has brain cancer and he wants to ride his bike the Natchez Trace. Is that even possible? And he goes, now Johnny had been off his bike for a long time because he had to have disc surgery in his back. And he goes, he'll never make it without me. Oh. No, I mean, he'll never make it.
He made it.
So he got on his trainer. Johnny started moving his legs again. And in 9 days, he coached Scott. He encouraged him. He threatened him. He pulled him up hills. He would talk to him. And they averaged about 50 miles a day. Wow. And I rode the last 4 miles in with them.
Really?
On a bike. And I've never been.
Wait, 9 days? Did you say 9 days?
They did it in 9 days.
450 miles.
I want to do it. Can
no,
I do it? Do they do it again?
I decided that I was so inspired that I would do it the next year.
Did you
and
do
we
it?
did it in 5 days. And
I was going to say, I was in France riding my bike when I was 18, and I think we used to do 30 to 50 miles a day. Like on a good day, we did 50 miles, but like...
Yeah, we did, the first day we did 90.
I would be doing great.
First day,
90?
I'm not a cyclist. The second day we did 93, and I couldn't walk after that
Oh,
I
day. And
you had to take a day off?
Johnny, no. Johnny goes, tomorrow, I want to see if we can get 100 miles in. And it's like, Johnny, I'm out. I can't move my legs. And he goes, do you trust me? And I go, yeah, yes.
I think I do.
And he said, no, tomorrow at some point, you're going to ask me to go 100 miles. And it's like, Johnny, I just had to do a thank you thing, and I had to walk up 3 steps, and I had to pull my legs up each step. There's no way in the world I'm going to be able to ride a bike tomorrow. And he goes, do you trust me? And I go, yes. And he goes, take a hot bath tonight with Epsom salts. We'll do a lymphatic kind of flush tomorrow because he's a healer. He's amazing. And we'll get on the bike and I'll get you, you'll see. So the next morning, I did the bath for like an hour and got flushed a lot of the lactic out. And the next morning I was able to get on my bike, and he goes, all right, for the first mile, we're going to pedal as fast as we can without resistance. I said, okay. So we did that. And then he goes, let's just cruise for the next mile. And so we cruise. And he goes, back to no resistance. So we did that for a mile, cruise the next mile. And the 5th mile, fast as you can without resistance, did that. And in that mile, I felt my legs.
Like release.
Wow.
And he goes, how do you feel? I go, let's go.
You flushed it out, huh?
We averaged 24 miles an hour.
Wow.
For the next hour and a half, we averaged 24 miles an hour.
What?
We were flying.
No way.
And so we got
made
to
it your 100 miles?
We got to the 70-mile mark. I'm going to cry when I tell you this story. We got to the 70-mile mark. And now I'm leading Johnny instead of following him. And I go, let's go 100. And he goes, I told you so. And so we went to the 100-mile marker, and we loaded up the van. And I was so haunted in my spirit. It was like, go back. What do you mean go back? What do you mean go back? Just go back. And so I went back. I went back 25 years. And on that day, 25 years before, I had just finished my 3rd round of chemotherapy, and I wanted to quit. Oh. I wanted to quit, and I didn't care if I died. I wanted to quit. And so I thought, man, this is crazy.
Wow.
Go back. On a day I wanted to quit. On another day I wanted to quit. I made it 100 miles. So I got up the next morning, and I went to the mile marker, and I sat there and I recorded a video. And I basically was very honest. I said, look, yesterday I rode 100 miles to this marker. And it was one of the coolest things I've ever done. 25 years ago, I was going through chemo, and I wanted to quit. And I go, if you're going through chemo right now, if you're hooked up to an infusion bag, I want you to know there's a mile marker waiting for you. Mm. And you just got to keep going towards it. Oof. And it was and a friend of mine was going through cancer, and I said, Corey, today I'm riding for you. Mm. And we got back on our bike, and that day we hit every kind of weather you could possibly imagine. But on the 5th day, we arrived on time in Nashville. 444 miles.
Do you do this every year?
No. I'm never going to cycle again.
Oh, I want to
never doing it again.
So
but
my rear end will never be the same.
This is my favorite thing to do is ride a bike besides snowboard.
Have you been to the Natchez Trace riding your bike?
I have not, but because I don't actually ride anymore. But I rode when I was a teenager through France. It was like because I read about the Ragbray. You know about the Ragbray? Mm-mm. It's the ride across the greater Iowa Basin, or so. I forget how it goes. It ends in Iowa. Iowa's the last letter. But basically, you ride across the state of Iowa, and it takes about a week, and it's like a huge amount. You have to join a lottery to try to be part of this. Wow. And you can have like a caravan follow you, but people will put you up in the towns you stop in. There's a party in each town when you stop. There's like toilet paper rolls on the corn, fields, and like so you can use the bathroom in the cornfields if you have to. But like they throw this big feast for you in each town, and at the end you dip your tire in the Mississippi. Oh. And I've always wanted to do it, and it's why I went to France and rode my bike, because I was putting two things together, that I wanted to ride the Ragbray and that I wanted to go to Paris and never been. So I ended up in riding from like Saumur, which is western France, into Paris. That took about a week, and then we did 2 weeks down south, going down to Nice, and then we went up into Geneva. So we were kind of following the Tour de France. Mm-hmm. We were kind of following the same path. And a bunch of teenagers, a bunch of spoiled brats. Yeah. I was with like a lot of spoiled brats, a lot of them from Ottawa, actually. A lot of Canadians in that group. It was so one of these tours that a lot of 16-year-olds did because they got freedom. They could smoke cigarettes, drink wine. Oh, boy. And their parents were like, go away to camp and don't come back kind of thing. And we'll see you in a month. But I was there for like the biking. So every day I biked and I loved it. And I always consider myself a cyclist, but have rarely been able to do it. Yeah.
When you do the Natchez Trace here, there's 3 big hills and they're a little bit challenging.
What's the elevation?
Oh, I couldn't even tell you.
Because I ride sometimes in Tahoe, but I mean, I have tried to ride a bike from 6,200 up to 7,200.
Oh no, it's Nashville's like 700 feet altitude. So
yeah, okay.
It goes
so
like this.
It's not quite that
It's
steep.
more like the first one's like, ow. And the second was like, come on. And then the third one's like, are you kidding me?
Is there any point where is there a point where you're walking it or
you're questioning all of your faith?
Do you
use e-bikes?
I think I can. I think I did. Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. Because on an e-bike in Tahoe, I can get up that 1,000 feet. Yeah. I can make that happen.
That makes it almost fair, but you still got to do the work.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're putting in like, if you put it on the highest level, it's like double, I think, the amount. So every push is like 2 with the stroke or something like that.
But the battery only lasts for 50 miles.
So you better get that hill done in the beginning of your ride or save it until later.
I mean, you can't really choreograph that, but it's like, it is what it is.
I would try.
But it was really cool. We raised a lot of money. We had like 48 states and 30 countries contributed to the ride.
Oh, wow.
And I got really crazy videos.
Wait, was it just like you was
me
it
and
3?
Johnny?
That's it. Oh, so it wasn't like a whole group of.
And then Scott had a second resection, so he couldn't really ride. And so he and Ellie rode the support van.
Okay.
And they helped us out a lot, and they were great. And then this last year, we did a more inclusive ride where we started at the Loveless Cafe, and then we went out 35 miles and back.
I want to do this.
Yeah, it's really fun.
I can't ice skate. Yeah. Oh, crap, I tried. I was in a movie actually in Calgary, up in Banff. I was supposed to ice skate in a movie called Holiday in Handcuffs, and I insisted on having lessons and trying in Calgary and up in Banff.
Who helped you with your skating?
I don't even know.
Yeah, because we used to have
long. It was
a bunch of
2006.
choreographers in LA that do that. I think I was Jamie Isley, and there's a bunch that that help actors learn how to skate.
I think it was a Calgary based.
Okay.
I think I was in Calgary when I did my first lesson, and then I took those lessons with me and went up to Banff and stayed at a hotel where it had an ice rink so I could practice every weekend. So I'd practice on the weekends. I was just trying to get myself to do a turn and just like a spin or something. I don't know. I remember I had to put my skates in like different, like opposite each other to try to, I forget how to do it now. But I practiced and then they still got
Don't
me.
get so technical.
I know, yeah. I had to like crisscross. I don't know. I was crisscrossing my skates and I would spin, but which I thought was really cool. But they didn't think it looked so cool on camera. Apparently I wasn't good enough. I still, after 4 weeks of practice, I still had a double.
You can always tell when somebody is like doesn't know how to skate. So they'll go out, and I did Blades of Glory, and so watching.
Oh, I love that movie so much.
Yeah, so I would watch like Will Ferrell try to skate. It was not safe. They would hang him from the ceiling. It was not safe. And then John Heater took it more seriously. Like
really,
yeah, he skated. He was able to do a lot of stuff on the ice, and it was really fun to watch that.
Will's such a big guy too. I would think
huge.
that fall
and his
is
body
pretty
is
hard.
a prop. I mean, he uses
like a
his
bear
body.
on
He goes,
skates.
soak it in. It's like got a little muffin top going there. And it's awesome.
He loves that. He really celebrates that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have questions that we have to ask.
Yes.
You are technically our season 9 first guest, so we're going to ask you some new questions this season.
Can I be your season 8 last guest? Because I'm all about 8s.
Actually, you could be. You can be. It's just that.
No, never mind.
No, you absolutely
I
can
just
be.
love 8s.
We just don't like those questions anymore. So I'm going to
okay.
ask you the season 9 questions as if you're the
season
last.
9. Okay, let's just, we're going this way.
Technically, you
We're not
are
going
season
back.
8.
We're going this way.
Yeah. Technically, you are season 8, though, because we're doing our secrets next week. So
Yeah.
All right. Do you have a hidden talent? We know all of your other talents. Do you have a hidden talent?
It's hard to say. Like I did the rock and roll fantasy camp. I was given to me for my 50th birthday, and I was a drummer, and I was kind of a rudiment drummer, but I got really a lot better that week because we were rehearsing the same songs, and I got to watch and follow the other drummer in my band, and have a mountain of really cool memories from that week of being in the rock and
Who
roll
was your
fantasy.
band?
Or
your instructor?
My instructor was Rami Jaffe, who was the keyboard player for the Wallflowers.
Oh,
That's cool.
I think I know that name.
And now I think he's touring with Foo Fighters, I think.
Oh, okay.
That's awesome.
But he was like this really
What a way
chill
to learn.
dude. And everybody like he became everybody's like therapist. It was really weird. But there were all these like everybody I listened to growing up was like in this building. And it was like, are you kidding?
Wow.
It's like, hey everybody, this is Steven Tyler. You want to play your Aerosmith song? Sure. So
Absolutely. Yes,
we'd play the Aerosmith song, and then that's funny. And then
and they're looking at you going, it's Kyle.
No, what was really funny was he came in, Steven Tyler with his girlfriend, and she was a little younger than him. And she's like looking and smiling at everybody, and she looks at me and she goes, and so she was like running up and hugging me, and Steven Tyler was like, what is going on here? So when we took our picture, he was standing between me and his girlfriend.
Oh, yeah.
And then we had another one came through, Todd Rundgren, who I listened to like forever. All this stuff was amazing. And he came through, we just sung for him. And they go, does anybody have a question for Mr. Rundgren? And I go, I do. And he goes, what would you like to ask? And I go, will you be our lead guitar player for our gig at the Whiskey? And he goes, what are you playing? I go, Ticket to Ride. And he goes, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So Todd Rundgren was
What's your lead guitar?
my guitar player.
Wow.
My guitar player.
You're a guitar player.
My guitar player.
And
So
I love
that
it.
goes in the hidden talents. I stopped playing after that. Sold my drums, but it was always something that
You peaked there.
I did. That was my ultimate peak. And I go, okay, that's good.
Well, if you need drums, I've got 2 sets at my house. Just come on over.
If I get nostalgic, definitely I'll be.
Come on over. We have 2 sets. We have the Jay Weinberg. What are they called? My son got them for Christmas last year.
Oh, JW Workshop?
No, it's I can't remember the name of the actual drum kit, but they're the ones that are electronic heads.
Oh, yeah,
so you
yeah,
can
yeah.
change the sound to be any drum kit that you want it to be.
Yeah, it's not so loud when you're practicing.
That was the thing. My son could wear his headphones and he could play Slipknot drums, or he could play Red Hot Chili Peppers drums, or so you can change the drum heads by the computer. Yeah. But he's also still got his my husband's touring live drum kit there, so he mixes it up a little bit, takes up a lot of space.
Drumming is fun. It really helps you get out your aggressions too. And I've gotten to meet a lot of really cool drummers over the years.
Yeah,
it's been really fun.
That's awesome.
Well, Jay Weinberg's one of your neighbors, apparently. Yeah. Do you have a favorite line from a movie we're going to do this time?
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I mean, we used to do that backstage all the time.
Yeah.
And we'd come up with a line, you have to guess what movie it was. And so Todd Sand was a pair skater, and he went, "Ka!" And that was the line in a movie. Do you remember?
What was that?
No.
Ka!
But that's so funny to see you do it.
I know. Can I guess?
Yeah.
Is it Three Amigos?
No.
When they're up on the wall and they're like, hey you, hey guys, look up here. Look up here. Look up here. I thought maybe it was one of those things. What is it?
This is the promo for this week, by the way.
No.
It's just y'all doing these noises.
It was a fish called Wanda.
Oh, which
I
I
love
funny
that.
enough just watched this summer for the first time.
Yeah, and so when he's interrogating him and he's putting French fries up his nose, he goes, "Where are they?" Ka-ka.
Because he's
Yeah,
got a
that
stutter,
stuttering
right?
cough.
Yeah.
Ka.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
But I mean, any line from, for me, it's like any line from Young Frankenstein.
Oh.
Brilliant. Like all those movies.
Where did you get this brain? It said it was Abby.
Abby
Normal.
Abby Normal. Yeah. It's so funny. It's like, put the candle Yeah, there's all those.
All right, that's another one I got to watch. I haven't watched it in
wait,
a while.
what?
No, I've seen, but I
Okay,
haven't
I
seen
was
it in
like-
a really long time.
Oh, it's hilarious.
I need to watch
It's-
it again.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Frau Blücher.
I'm literally just gonna have them edit all of these noises together.
But it's like the whole movie is like a treasure trove of one-liners.
so good.
Yeah.
Do you have a hype song? Is there a song like you get pumped up? Like, let's say for your show in a few weeks. Like, are you gonna like listen to something and get on?
I don't. It's like when I was touring and stuff, it would be different. Like and touring, and when I was like skating, music was my best friend, and there'd be all these different things. But my goodness, it was always I loved. Oh man, it's just everybody. I mean, there's so many great ones, but like whether it be Billy Squier, Everybody Wants You, or if it were Jay Giles Band, pretty much anything they did, Springsteen, Boston, Zeppelin. I was a huge Robert Plant fan when he went solo, and so I just listened to stuff and one of the big hype songs, and a lot of people use it, is Crazy Train.
Oh, yeah, of
Osbourne
course.
song.
Yeah.
And that just, if you're on a treadmill, it's kind of like, okay.
Or Thunderstruck? Like I'm thinking about
Thunderstruck.
football
We're going
teams
up
running
to
out to
20.
Thunderstruck,
They did
right?
that at the Predators games, Thunderstruck.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Alabama does. I think Alabama runs out to Thunderstruck
And
too.
it's so funny. A friend of mine is a music producer here in town. He goes, I don't need you to be in my studio at 4:30 on Friday. And I'm like, why? And he goes, just be in my studio 4:30 on Friday. I go, okay. So I walk in, and Brian Johnson, lead singer of Aerosmith,
I race car drive. I went.
AC/DC.
He used to sing lullabies to my oldest son when we were race car driving in England together. He's such a nice guy.
Oh, he's hilarious.
He doesn't even understand himself.
Yeah.
The way he talks. Did you understand? And he's
a little bit. It's like,
yeah. He can't. And we were like, Brian, what did you say? He goes, oh, and we're like, okay.
It's like, he was hilarious. I'm like, I'm meeting the lead singer of AC/DC right now, and it's like, okay, and
He's amazing.
Oh, it's so funny. It's so great, and so things like that, But
Yeah. That's a thrill. I think my hype song is probably it's usually Sabotage by Beastie Boys.
Oh, that's a good one.
I think, yeah. Like that tune, 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 how it starts. Like, I can't do it. I'm not a singer. But okay, what would your last meal be?
Ooh.
You're dead men walking and
See, I don't know. It just feels I'm big on I love Asian food, but I also like a really good steak. But if it were like last meal, and I could have anyone cook it, I would bring my mom back to cook her beef stroganoff. Because it was
comfort
the
food.
best thing I ever put in my mouth.
Yeah.
And she would cook it on special occasions, and it just like that just popped into my head. It's like her beef stroganoff. And if I see it in a good restaurant, I'll always order it.
Yeah.
And just
Never compares, though.
No, she was amazing
yeah.
at that. And so her beef stroganoff. Only if she made it. But other than that, it would be, Asian food. Like I was we used to go to this place in LA. In fact, my wife and I went first date to this little restaurant called Matsuhisa. And there was this guy there named Nobu that would cook for us.
Yes. Okay. I'm like, why do I know that? Nobu.
No one's heard of
And then
it.
Nobu became like this international sensation. It's like, really? He's such
I know
a
they're
nice
opening
guy.
one in Lake Tahoe. I'm not happy about it though.
Yeah.
Because they're like putting
It's really good food.
fancy restaurant. I know.
good.
And they can do it on a small, but they're taking over our big steak restaurant in Tahoe and I don't like it.
But Nobu is now its own entity. Nobu sold it.
Oh yeah.
But
It's a strip mall.
Matsuhisa now, he's kept that brand
Okay.
and he still owns a lot of his recipes. So
Okay.
like Matsuhisa is like it. So I love Asian fusion.
Okay.
food.
All right. That's good. Let me ask you this. I want to go back to a season 8 question because I like this
Okay.
one. And I'm just curious what you would say. If you went to jail, what would your crime be?
Man, these are tough
Speaking
questions.
of crime, speaking of like last meal, like I don't know. I wanted to talk about prison again.
What would if I went to jail, what would my crime be?
I do love this question.
I love this question.
I will say that when I used to go back and forth from Denver to Los Angeles, there was a stretch of road in Utah where I would go very fast.
Oh,
And in fact, I had this little 911, and I would see how long I could go 125 miles an hour on this highway in Utah. I wasn't
long
smart.
you could? Like until you got pulled over? Or
No, I just go until I got tired of going that fast.
Oh, okay. Oh.
So when you're going that fast, you make up time really quick.
Really quick.
And there's really, in that little stretch of
Think
Utah.
about how fast you could drive the Natchez Trace like that.
Oh, no, it's way too dangerous. Nothing over 50. We almost got killed on a trace when Johnny almost got killed. But no, it was really funny because I was going about 125, and I went around this little turn, like this little bend in the road, and there was a Utah State highway patrolman going the other direction. And I looked in my mirror, and he turned his lights on. So it took me a few minutes to slow down.
Yeah.
But then he pulled up. I waited for him. It was about 4 minutes later. He pulled up. 5 minutes later, and he goes. He came up to my window, and I looked at him. I go, I was going really fast. And he goes, yes, you were. In fact, state law says I would have to take you to jail.
Arrested you, yeah. My sister got arrested in South Dakota.
He goes, but we're in the middle of nowhere, and that would destroy my entire day. So I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to let you go on your word that you're going to go slower. And I go, I'll go slower. And he goes, okay, please, it's not safe. And I go, okay. So I only went 110 after that.
Oh my gosh. You said, yeah, he didn't. It's like in the Pirates movie where Barbossa says she didn't stipulate that she has to get back to land so they wouldn't hurt her. It's like he didn't stipulate how slow you would have to go. You would have to go speed limit, just slower.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I slowed down, but it was like that would be what I go to jail.
My sister was handcuffed in South Dakota and thrown into prison when she was like 20.
Jail, not prison.
Sorry, jail. Yeah, like holding cell for a few hours until they could pay the. And her boyfriend, they didn't have the money on their credit. Like, I don't think they took credit cards or something. My mom had to wire the money.
It's got to be cash. Yeah.
So she had to be in the holding cell until they got the money because they were like, you're never going to come back here. So we have to get it now while we can.
That's funny.
All right, should we do this or that? You have
Sure.
one? We have a quick this or that, little 5 questions.
Okay, ready? Hard pants or soft pants?
Soft.
Amen. Go out or
And
stay
they have
in?
to stretch.
Yes.
Soft pants to stretch. There you go.
He's one of us.
Yes.
Go out or stay in?
Stay in.
Barefoot or socks?
Ooh.
Tough question.
Ooh, that is a tough question. I'm going to say socks. I love socks.
I love
we have
socks.
our squishy socks
I
here.
love socks. But there's no sleeping in socks.
No.
I will suffocate to death.
Well, I like starting off the night if it's cold. I like starting
if
in
it's
socks
cold,
and taking them
you start off in socks and you take them off. But yeah, there are nights here in Nashville because when it drops, it really drops all at once. It's like da-da. It's like today, gorgeous, and then it's like bam,
30.
Like, what just happened?
That's why all our plants die.
So socks for the first.
Yeah, like an hour or two.
All
until
right,
you
this
wake up.
might be TMI, but here we go. Sleep in the buff or in PJs?
I don't sleep in PJs.
Hot tub or cold plunge?
A hot tub.
Yes. Me too.
My wife does. She does the infrared sauna and cold plunge
All at once?
all the time.
I love my sauna, but
My
you could not
husband-
pay me to get in a cold
We don't
plunge.
have
there's
the
a
infrared
place
sauna,
over by
but we
Urban
do.
Market
Yeah.
that does the any light therapy you want in your sauna, and then you can do like a cold plunge.
It's Pure Float? Is it pure something float?
No, it's a sweat shack.
Oh, Sweat Shack. Okay.
Yeah.
My husband made me do an infrared sauna recently where he was like, come with me. You can come with me. You can get in the sauna with me. I was like, oh, okay. But I don't know why I didn't visualize that we were going to like walk past a front desk who was going to know what we're doing. We're going to get naked together and sit in a box watching like Ted Lasso on our phones while we sat next to each other naked for an hour. I was like, this is just weird. Like, I don't know why I'm so uncomfortable right now. They all out there know that we're both in here together naked. Do they, like, I don't know. It just was,
They're professionals.
Yeah.
I know. But
Also-
I can't imagine the kind of stuff that goes on in there if that's what's going like, I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
surely not.
I would hope not. Like, but
No.
like weird. Like, I don't know. It just
No.
felt odd.
Things that men will never talk about.
And my
Moving
husband's
on.
like, can we put an infrared sauna in? Oh, are there more? Sorry.
No, that's all. You should just get your own, though. I have one. It's the most amazing thing
I
ever.
don't have space
Yeah, they're
for it.
reasonable.
Mine's the size of like a closet.
My son
Tiny
told me
closet.
yesterday to go ahead and get a roller skating rink in our house. I'm like, where would you like me to put that? Like,
I mean,
should I
it's a
move
good
my
idea.
bathtub out and give you a roller skating rink in the, 7 feet that this
That's
thing
what
takes?
living rooms are for. My kids, I'm like, if I don't have to go outside and watch you in the driveway and you want to roller skate around the living room, go for it.
Well, Scott, I don't. The reason I moved to Nashville was promised 2 things. I could adopt a little girl, didn't happen, and I could have a party barn.
it's never too
Because
late.
all
to
I
adopt a
ever
little
wanted
girl.
was a party barn. I know, I still can. But the party barn thing, like I really wanted it to have the boys like pizza parties, movies, big fancy dinners, shoot some pool, whatever. But I was thinking,
basically do that in your house anyway.
I know we really do. My house is a party barn, but I really wanted to have the mess outside and have the house so I don't have to have people in my house in a way, but also like entertain. But the party barn could be a roller rink.
Yeah.
So if I got a party barn, I could have a roller rink too.
There's so many cool, like really cool barns that people use for events.
I know. That's what I want to do.
It's
I need
so
a party
much fun.
barn. Like I don't want a barn. I don't need animals. Maybe a horse, but really no. I just want to have parties.
Yeah, we just moved to a little gentleman's farm. We have a little barn and we have chickens.
Oh, do you have
You
have animal? You actually have livestock in your barn.
Well, no, in the barn we have a barn cat. And the barn cat looks after all the pests and stuff. And then we have chickens, and they have their own space.
Okay.
But
So can I use your party barn?
Yeah, of course.
Can I come
Absolutely
turn it into a roller rink for my 11-year-old?
Yeah,
That'd be
it'd
great.
be perfect size. Just that little space in the middle. It'd be
I love
great.
it.
All right,
But
you got your phone?
Yeah. I
Oh
do.
yeah, we got to ask you a quick question about your unread emails. Can you tell us the number
Oof, mine just
of unread emails you
mine's
have?
high right now.
I got rid of most of mine today. It's 91.
You have 91.
That's
nice.
pretty
That's
good.
decent.
Most of them, though, like, oh, wait, hold on. 92.
Oh,
90.
See, y'all are on team delete. I don't know how you
89.
do this.
Oh, here's another one. Oh, 88, my favorite number. I'm going to stop
Oh,
there.
you just deleted a bunch. I have 118,
Yeah.
and that's making me nervous right now. I think I can delete the top 2.
I really don't want to deal with the judgment that's about to come.
Yeah, it's
What-
going to
what's
get
yours?
real.
200. And...
32,733.
You win. Yeah, my wife's up there. She probably is up there around 15,000.
It's
somewhere.
It's online shopping. You have to get rid of it.
It's just so much to go through, and
It's the holiday season. While you're in shopping, unsubscribe from everything.
I
please.
do unsubscribe. I
Okay,
do
here's
that.
the thing. Say anything that doesn't have to do with family or work, delete it.
This one time, I did pay someone because I went off Instagram for multiple years. So I paid my cousin, who was basically like an intern at this point. I paid her like however many dollars to sit there and like take everyone off my Instagram. So
Yeah.
I didn't follow anyone, and everyone that followed
get
me, I
someone
had
to
to
do that.
remove them.
To unsubscribe.
And
Any
so
like
now I regret it because I went back on Instagram and I've had to rebuild all my followers. But at the time,
you'll never regret getting rid of your emails. Trust me.
Yeah. And honestly,
I can just mark them all as red.
No,
and
you can't.
I know the world cannot survive without social media.
I can. I thrived without it. But
Oh, it's so
when you
much
do something
better.
like this, you kind of need to be able to
You
connect
need
with
to
people.
promote, yeah. And in that's the way it's supposed to be used. But the bully pulpit stuff,
yeah,
and,
no.
and it's just like I did this. I did this book called Finish First, and I would do a speech to
Just
promote
this
the
little
book.
book.
Yeah,
No big deal.
No,
Just
it's,
like
but anyway, so I do this Finish First speech, and part of it was about criticism, and how it only comes in 2 forms, because. And it's a really cool way of looking at it. If you can look at criticism as in only 2 forms, it's opinion and fact, right? Opinion, just delete it. Who cares? Right?
Yeah.
What do you care? It's like, eh. But the other fact, if someone criticizes you, even if it cuts to the bone, and if it's fact, it's like, thank you.
Yeah.
It's a gift, right?
that's
That's
constructive.
growth
yeah.
mindset.
Right. So in that part of the speech, I show like these screenshots of Twitter comments from when I did the Olympics, and they were so mean and they were so just awful that I just thought they were hilarious.
Is it Jimmy Fallon that has people
The
read their
read
own
mean
mean
tweets, yes.
Mean tweets.
Yeah, that's
so
funny.
I put them one after another, and the first time I did the speech was for this. It was an online class with a live audience for this college thing, and these kids were like, "Oh." Every time one would come up, they go, "Oh," and they'd look away, and I was like, "This is funny."
You're like, these are about me, guys. This is hilarious.
But
you're
I
like,
mean,
"I'm
that's
okay, I'm
where
okay."
social media for
They take
kids
it so seriously.
for kids that grew up digital, and for kids that grew up like slave to the master, it really is like their world.
Yeah.
And I can
it's all
see
that they
where
put their value in because they don't like I know I'm watching my kids kind of struggle with confrontation stuff, like having too many people show up at your party and then not being able to say, hey guys, you got to go, like not knowing how to handle that because they only handle things in comments on Instagram or TikTok or something, and they don't know how to handle.
They only text. They don't know how to pick up the phone and call.
True confrontation in person is not. A lot of the times their teachers are giving them second shots on papers. They don't even have to go ask. They just are like, oh, here, you didn't do well in your test. Go retake it. instead of like being like, excuse me, can I, what can I do to make up for this? Or how can I, I feel like there's a lot of confrontation stuff that's getting lost and nobody knows how to kind of be face to face anymore. We all know how to be these keyboard warriors, and it's sad.
And so I'm not a fan. Occasionally I'll go on and just sort of scroll through a little bit, but I could see where the vortex is really strong.
Yeah.
You can get pulled into that world and like, oh, I've been sitting here for 2 hours. What?
The movie Social Dilemma is that like opened my eyes to some stuff for reals. Thank you this was so fun to have you here.
We
one more
talk to
time
you all day.
Yeah, so Scott, first of all, people can donate to your foundation, right?
ScottCares.org.
Okay. And then that's where do they get the tickets for the Scott Hamilton and Friends show?
Bridgestone Arena box office, Ticketmaster. If you want to come on as a sponsor and attend the dinner afterwards, it's really fun.
Yeah.
It's really fun. You get preferred seating at the ice show.
Okay.
And then we have this beautiful dinner afterwards. You can get those tickets at scottcares.org.
Okay.
And
it's fun for the whole family, the ice show.
Like cancer is something that touches every age, right? So I don't want to ever exclude anyone from any of our events. So we'll do comedy events. It's always clean. We do any of the music events or songwriter events. It's always really super family friendly. And honestly, I just like the skating event is just so magical, and the music is so iconic, and the performers are so amazing that everyone enjoys it equally.
I would love it. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. I mean, I'm excited because it'll be
really cool.
It's spectacular.
Yeah.
There was a music manager in town, and he's really cool guy. And he's to me, I get intimidated around him a little bit because he's just like amazing, and he works really hard. And he's just no nonsense, gets to the point, let's do this. And he was at the show one year, and he got sprayed with ice, and he was 5 again. And I'll never forget it as long as I live. It was like he went, it was just like, we're at SeaWorld. And he just got,
just splashed him.
You're like, oh my gosh.
But it's that. It's like seeing the best in the world. And Nathan Chen is arguably, probably for what he does, no one has ever approached his level of billion talent. I mean, he's just beyond description. And the fact that
you're going to get to watch him skate to some country music.
Oh, boy.
So anyone in the general area, including like Little Rock, Louisville, Atlanta.
Come to town for this.
Come to town.
No, we have people. There's one, I don't know how many, but one in particular, this couple is coming in from Japan. Because we're the only ones in the world that do this.
Yeah.
And she said, here's where I want to sit.
Wow. So November 19th, it starts in the early evening, like 5 o'clock, I think.
5 o'clock.
And get your tickets and come out to the Bridgestone. And then you're right there on Broadway, too. You can go out to the honky tonks. You can have some fun.
Yeah.
Enjoy some Nashville.
Or sponsor the show. And come to the dinner afterwards.
And if you can't make it, donate online. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Scott, for
buy
being
the
here.
Tickets and send some friends.
Yeah, there's this really cool thing that we do. It's called the 1984 campaign. Oops, sorry. And it's if people can't come to one of our events, if they're too far away, whatever, they can sign up and join the 1984 campaign, which is $19.84 a month.
Oh, wow.
And that really helps us.
That's amazing.
Yeah, because it's just, we don't have to do events. You don't have to do a lot. It's just money that comes in, and it really is amazing. And 1984 was really good to me. So we want to make sure that 1984 is really good for the next person facing the cancer diagnosis. So
I love that.
Well, thank you.
Oh,
Thanks
thank
so much
you.
for being
This
here.
has been awesome.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Oh, I feel like I learned so much. I'm inspired. I'm excited.
You want to go skate a little, don't you?
Let's go.
I
You want to do
would
some
like
triple lutzes?
attempt to skate. I have a lot further to fall than you do.
Women at what? Woman at binge.